Good morning. So before watching this video, you should have watched the MathsWatch videos S2A and S2B on bar charts. In particular, you should be able to read them and you should know the key features of a bar chart. And you should have attempted or answered the questions on the MathsWatch assignment called bar charts. Okay, so this video is about some more bar charts called comparative and composite bar charts. So comparative we sometimes call multiple bar charts. Composite bar charts are sometimes called compound bar charts. Okay, so let's have a look and see what they are and what the key features are. So this one here is a comparative bar chart. Okay, also known as a multiple bar chart, because we have got two sets of data side by side. So this particular bar chart is showing the decline in tourism to the UK. Okay, notice that we've got a key here, all right, to tell us what the different coloured bars are representing, which data they're representing. So this darker colour is representing the visitors in 2000, and the lighter colour is representing the visitors in 2001, October. Okay. But we can see when they're side by side, for all visitors, we can see that there were more visitors in October 2000 than there were in October 2001. Okay, and then for the individual areas, you can see again how much the decrease has gotten. So for North America, we can see actually in October 2001, there are less than half the number of visitors than there were in October 2000. Okay. Western Europe, it's gone down, but not as far as, hasn't gone down quite as far as halfway, and other areas, again, it looks like there's less than half in October 2001. So when we have two bars like this from two sets of data side by side, it's just easier to compare rather than having them on separate bar charts. Okay, so key features, title, we have our scale, okay, which should be going up in equal jumps. Okay, this is not a great scale looking at it actually, because it doesn't start at 0, which is not good. We've got a number of people visiting, so we've got our title here, and down here, oops, okay, we should have a title at the bottom, okay, a label for this one here, and you must have a key. All right, so all comparative bar charts must have a key here, so we know which colour bar represents which set of data. Sometimes that might be labelled underneath, okay, but that should be really clear which bar represents which set of data. Okay, let's have a look at another one. Okay, so again, this one is the UK resident population. So again, we've got a label here, we've got a label here, we've got the different year groups, and we've got our key. Okay, so we've got purple is male, white is female, and the blue is the total resident population. Okay, so you can compare male and female side by side and see what proportion of the total they are just by comparing the three bars together. Okay, and you can see how they change over time. Okay, so what we've got here is what we call a composite bar chart. So rather than have the data side by side, we're building the data one on top of the other. Okay, so this bar chart is looking at global fuel ethanol production in millions of tons. And we've got three areas. We've got US, Brazil, and ROW. Okay, and we can see that the US is represented by that sort of lime green yellowy colour, and so we can see as this bar chart moves on from 1998 to 2008 that amount has gone up, and it significantly went up in the 2000s here. Okay, Brazil is the dark green colour. Okay, so we can compare that directly to the US. Here we can see actually Brazil was producing more than the US, okay, and you can compare here. At this point here, 2004 and 2005 probably got equal amounts, but from 2006 onwards, we can see that the US is actually producing slightly more. And then we can see the ROW doesn't look like it was producing any here. You can see very slight production here. Okay, it's a very small amount there. But then from here on, okay, we can see that that amount is getting bigger and bigger. Nowhere near as big as the other two countries, okay, but we can see their production is increasing. Okay, so this is a composite where we have one on top of the other, and comparative, we have them side by side. But again, we must have a key, okay, we must have a title, and again, our axes should be labelled. Can't see labels on this one. Okay. Okay, so we've got some questions here about some composite bar charts. Okay, so we can see here there's a key that red stands for children and blue stands for adults. This composite bar chart shows the results of a survey about different mobile phones. We can see at the side is frequency, and that's going up in 5s. And we can see the different types of phones along the bottom. And remember, it's composite, so one bar is on top of the other bar. Okay, so let's have a look at the questions. It says, how many children have a pay-as-you-go phone? So let's have a look. Pay-as-you-go is that middle bar, but I need to remember which one's blue, which one's red. So if I come over here, I can see children are red. So how many children? Well, we start at 10, we go up to 25, so 25 take off 10 is 15. It must be 15 children. Okay. How many children took part in the survey? So again, red is children, so I've got to work out each the length of each red bar to work out the total number. So we've got 10 children here, 15 children here, so that's 25, and 5 children here, so that's 30. So 30 children took part. What is the modal type of phone for adults? So a couple of weeks ago we were doing about averages, and one of the averages was mode, and it was the one that occurs the most. So modal is the phone that is most popular for adults. So if remember, adults are the blue ones. So if we just look at the blue bars, which bar is the highest? Well, it's this one here. So it's contract phones are the modal type for adults. So what percentage of adults have a pay-as-you-go phone? Okay, so remember, adults are blue, so we've got 25 here, plus 10 is 35, plus 15 is 50, so it's 10 out of 50, and 10 out of 50 is the same as 20 out of 100, so that's 20%. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. So this one is about modes of transport used by pupils. Okay, so this says the composite bar chart shows how pupils get to school. So our key says red is bus, yellow is walk, and car is blue. And we've got year 9, year 8 and year 7. So one of the things you should have picked up on with the MathsWatch is when we're drawing bar charts, it's for discrete data, okay, which we've talked about. But just note, each of the bars are exactly the same width. So here, here and here, these are the same width. These bars are the same width. And we have a gap between each bar, and that's really important because the data is discrete. So you should always draw a bar, leave a gap, draw a bar, leave a gap, draw a bar, leave a gap. And the bars should be the same width. You can't have a wide bar and then a narrow bar. They have to be the same width. Regardless of how big the label is, the bars should be the same. Okay? So, first question, how many pupils in year 9? Well, here's year 9. My scale says that we're going up in tens. So if we go up to here, that's 100, 110. The most accurate I can make that is 115. So I'm going to say there's 115 in year 9. What type of transport seems to decline as pupils get older? So getting older goes from year 7 to year 9, so we're going in that direction. So if we look at the red, bus seems to get more popular. Walking, we start with 20, then it goes up to 40, then it goes down to 30, so it's certainly not declining. And car starts with 60, goes to 30 and then 15. So decline means going down. So which type of transport seems to decline? Well, that is car. How many year 8 pupils walk to school? So here's year 8. Walk is yellow, so we've got 10, 20, 30, 40. What fraction of pupils in year 8 walk to school? Well, I know there's 40. I need to work out how many in total there were. Well, it goes up to 120. So it's 40 out of 120, but that will cancel to a third. So a third of pupils in year 8 walk to school. And the last one, how many pupils come to school by car? So car is the blue one. So we've got 60 here, 70, 80, 90, 105. Okay, so they're all composite bar charts. Let's have a look then at a comparative bar chart. So again, look, we've got bar charts side by side, but I've got a gap between each set. Okay, so there's no gap when we've got the comparisons here. You can put a gap in, it doesn't, don't need to, but there is a gap between each set of data. There's no key to this one, but each bar is labelled boys and girls, so I can see that the blue one's boys and the pink one's girls. Okay, again, frequency up the side, and this scale is going up in 2s. Just make sure you know what your scale is doing so you can read it carefully. So it says this is called a dual bar chart because there's 2, but it could be multiple or comparative. It's all the same thing. Shows information about the number of boys and girls in 3 tutor groups, 7A, 7B and 7C. So how many boys are there in 7B? Well, here's 7B, here's the boys column. We go up, there's 16 boys. Which tutor group has 12 girls? So let's start with the 12, and we're just going to read across until I get to a pink bar with 12, and that's 7C. Which tutor group has more girls than boys? So I want a higher pink one. Well, that's this one here, so that's 7A. Which tutor group has the same number of boys and girls? So I need the 2 bars to be the same, which is obviously this one here, and that's 7C. Which tutor group has the most students? So let's have a look for 7A. We had 9 boys and 13 girls, and 9 and 13 is 22. 7B has 16 boys, but only 7 girls, and 16 and 7 is 23. So we've got 22, 23, and here we've got 12 boys and 12 girls, that's 24. So this is 22, this was 23, this was 24, it's got to be 7C. How many more girls than boys are there in 7A? So if we look, here's 7A, so we start at 9, we've got 10, 11, 12, 13, so there are 4 more boys. Okay, 9 up to 13, 4 more girls than boys in 7A. How many boys in year 7 in total? So I need to add up the blue bars. So I'm going to do 9, add 16 is 25, add 12 is 37. How many students in year 7 in total? Okay, so we've already worked out this is 22, this is 23, this is 24. So 20 plus 20 plus 20 is 60, and then I've got 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 4 is 9, so that's 69. And how are there more boys or girls in year 7? Okay, so I could just work out the difference between 69 and 37, which is 32. So I know there's 32 girls in year 7 and 37 boys, so there's more boys. But you might just want to check that as well by adding up the pink bars, so then you know that you've got that total right as well. Okay, so now we've finished about composite bar charts. There is a quick quiz on Show My Homework for you to have a go at, where you have to read some composite bar charts. Okay, so make sure you look at the scales carefully. And then there is a couple of questions where you can draw a composite and a comparative bar chart. If you can print the worksheet off, that's probably the best thing to do. If you can't, try, and if you haven't got square paper, then then try and do online paper as best you can, or do it in your book if you've got your book. Okay, but if you can print it off, that's the best thing. Okay, and then if you could send that in to me when you're done, that'd be brilliant. Okay, there we go.